Hare Krishna students. So today we will learn the last portion of our chapter, that is fourth generation language. We will discuss the features of fourth generation language, and also we'll revise the other three languages what we have already discussed in our last class, that was machine language, assembly language and high level language. And then we will discuss the question answers of our exercise. So please watch the video till the end and listen carefully all the answers. We will discuss all the question answers in this video, and thereafter you have to write all the question answers in your book or in your copy and submit those as your classwork or homework, okay, in assignment section. So today we will start from fourth generation language. That is our first chapter, that is the computer languages. What we have: first generation, that was machine language; second generation, that was assembly language; and third generation, that was high level language; and the last one, that is fourth generation language, 4GL. So what is that, and what are the features of fourth generation language? So let's start. Fourth generation languages are closer to human language than any other high level languages. So whatever we have, the earlier languages, those are not so much closer to human, rather than fourth generation language, this is more familiar to human language. So fourth generation languages are combination of languages with the following features. So what are those? These are more simple than high level languages. These languages are more natural and similar to the languages we speak. That means it is very similar to our spoken language. Okay, so these are the features of fourth generation languages. Number one, it is very user friendly. That means it can be used by anyone and you need not be very expert in this language to work with. If you are not so expert in this language also, you can handle this language or you can work on this language. So it is very user friendly. Anyone can learn these languages very easily. So it is very simple to learn. Anyone can learn it very easily. Next one, number 2. It is portable. That means you can easily take it from one device to another and you can use it in almost any devices. So it is very portable and very familiar to any kind of devices. We can use it in almost any devices. Okay. Next one, number 3. It is independent of operating system, which means that you can develop a part of an application in Windows operating system and build another part in an Apple computer in Mac OS. So it is independent of operating system. That means you can develop a part of an application in Windows also and Mac computers also, Mac OS also. So it is independent of operating system. So you can continue your development procedure even if the platform changes. That means you can develop in any platform. So it is very familiar with operating system. It is independent of any operating system, and we can develop the procedure even if the platform changes. Okay. Next point, number 4. It is a very high speed of execution. That means it run very quickly. Let us take an example of an application like Google Voice. You know, we can speak with Google nowadays. If we ask something to do with Google, we can simply upload our voice and Google can search it. So you can ask anything in Google Voice, search, that means you can anything ask in Google Voice search and it quickly gives us the result, and hence we need to do only ask it to get any information out of it. That means we need to ask Google by using our voice. Google will recognize whatever we are saying and it will help us to search that any information out of it. Okay, so it is a high speed of execution. That means it run very quickly, and like as Google Voice, if we want to search anything by our voice, we just speak our Google Voice search, and hence Google recognize that very quickly and helps us to inform us the right answer or whatever we need. We just need to do only ask it to get any information out of it. Okay. Next point. Number 5. It is designed in such a way that it is going to reduce the workload of the software developer, which helps them to develop the software quickly and efficiently, reducing work time and software development cost. So, it is designed in such a way that it is going to reduce the workload of the software. So, it is developed as a way that it is going to reduce the workload of the software developer, which helps them to develop the software quickly and efficiently, reducing work time and software development cost. Okay, next point, number 6. Here the programmer has to specify the output and its structure, and then the system will take the inputs as required and process it and give the information in the similar format. So therefore, fourth generation languages what we have are more easier and familiar with us, and we can learn it very easily and we can use it in real life. So the last point, that was the programmer has to specify the output and its structure, and then the system will take the inputs as required and process it, give the information in that similar format. So what are the features we have? I will read the points that what we have in our book. The features, that was first one, highly user friendly, portable and independent of operating system. So that means we can use it in Windows also and Mac OS also. Okay, next point, very high speed of execution. Example, Google Voice, that whatever we want to search we can speak with Google Voice and it will execute in very high speed. Okay, next point, designed to reduce level of programming efforts. It is designed to reduce the level of programming efforts. Next, fourth point, minimum efforts from the user to obtain any information. Minimum efforts from the user to obtain any information. That means users have to do minimum efforts to get the information. Okay. Fifth point, designed to reduce the overall time it takes to develop software and the cost of software development. It is designed to reduce the overall time it takes to develop software and the cost of software development. Okay. The last one, that is 6 point. In 4th generation language, that is 4GL, the user has to specify only the required output and the format of the output without bothering about the steps required to obtain that. Okay, user has to specify only the required output and format of the output without bothering about the steps required to obtain that. Okay, so we have completed the 4th generation of languages. Now let's at a glance we will discuss the features of the 4 languages what we have. First generation, that was machine level languages. What are the features? Uses binary codes to despite operators and data. That means it only understand the binary codes, that means 0 and 1. Next, that is machine dependent. It is very much machine dependent. Next one, only language directly understood by a computer. That is, machine level language is the only language that is directly understood by a computer. That means this language computer can directly understand. Okay. The next one, that is the second generation language and is called assembly language. So what are the features? Mnemonic codes or symbols instead of binary numbers. In this language, we use mnemonic codes or symbols instead of binary numbers. That means some specific code as add without using the binary code of that symbol. Okay, we use mnemonic codes or symbols instead of binary numbers. Next one, it is machine dependent. Assembly language also machine dependent. An assembly language has to be converted into machine language by translator programmers. That is called assembler. We need assemblers as translator programmers. Sorry, we need translator programs known as assemblers that helped to convert the assembly language program into machine language to understand by the computer. Okay. Next one, high level language. Uses English words and mathematical operators. The first picture, what is that? Uses English words and mathematical operators. In these high level languages, we use English words and mathematical operators like C, C++, and Java. In those languages, we use English words. Next, that is, the next feature is machine independent. So, C, C++, or Java, these are the 4 high level languages, and this is not depend on machine, this is machine independent. Okay. The third feature of high level language is that has to be converted into machine language by translator programmers. By translator programs, that was interpreter and compiler. By those translator programs, interpreters and compilers, it has to be converted into machine level language. After converting machine level language, computer will understand. Okay, so it has to be converted into machine language. Next, that is 4th generation language, 4GL. What are the features? First one, machine independent. It is also machine independent and minimal user skills required to obtain results. Anyone can work with these kind of languages. No need to vary no need to very expert on this language. So minimal user skills required to obtain results. The last one, the application development tool. That means application development tool is that we can use 4th generation language to develop a software or to make a software. So it is very familiar, very useful, and it is very easy to learn. So this is all we have in this chapter. These are all the features of languages. These 4 languages we have. Next, points at a glance. What are the main points we have in this chapter? Those are: programming is the process of writing specific instructions in a computer language. So, programming is the process of writing specific instructions in a computer language. What is programming? It is the process of writing specific instruction. Okay. Next, machine language is the only language that a computer understands. We need to convert any language into machine language, then only the computer will understand. Okay. Next one, translator programs are also known as assemblers. It converts the assembly language program into machine language. Next one, compiler and interpreter are the two types of translator programs used to convert a high level language program into machine language. So, compiler and interpreter are the two types of translator programs that are used to convert a high level language program into machine language. In C and C++ we have compiler, and in Java we have both interpreter and compiler, and in HTML we have interpreter. So these are the translator programs that helps us to high level language program into machine language. Next, the term software was first used by John W. Tukey in 1957. Okay, so the term software was first used by John W. Tukey in 1957. In the right hand side you can see there are some boxes and the main points are written there. So what are the main points? That first one, fact file, that locator identifier separation protocol, LISP. Locator identifier separation protocol was the first computer language for writing artificial intelligence programs. It was created by John McCarthy. Okay, next one. Known the fact. The first interactive computer game was Spaceware. What was the first interactive computer game? That was Spaceware. Next, fact file. The term software was first used by John W. Tukey in 1957. So this is a picture of John W. Tukey. The term software was first used by this man in 1957. In the last box, what we have? In software development, beta release refers to a product or a technology which is still in development but released only for testing and evaluation purpose. So these are all we have. We have completed this chapter. Now we will discuss the question answers. So please open your book and go to your exercise portion. I will dictate all the answers. So write it very carefully in your book or in your copy. And next class we will revise those question answers. I will ask you one by one. You have to answer those question answers. So listen very carefully. Go to your exercise. That first exercise we have the fill in the blanks. Number A, fill in the blanks. 1. A dash is a set of instructions which tells the computer what to do. What is the answer? Program. A program is a set of instructions which tells the computer what to do. Okay. The next one. Number 2. The development of computer languages can be classified into dash categories. How many languages we have? 4. Okay. The development of computer languages can be classified into 4 categories. Next one. Number 3. Dash language consists of sets of binary numbers, that is 0 and 1. What language? Machine language. Okay. The low level language, that is machine language, consists of set of binary numbers, that is 0 and 1. Next one. 4. Dash was the first interactive computer game. Just now I have told you that. What was the first game? Spacewar was the first interactive computer game. Next, number 5. Dash uses simple English words and mathematical operators. In which language? High level language. Uses simple English words and mathematical operators. Next, number 6. Dash language uses mnemonic codes or symbols. In which language we use mnemonic codes and symbols? That is assembly language. Next, number 7. Dash was the first computer language for writing artificial intelligence programs. So, what is that? LISP. That is Locator Identifier Separation Protocol was the first computer language for writing artificial intelligence programs. Okay. Next, what we have? True false. Number B, true false. Number 1. Machine language is the only language which a computer understands. Is it true or false? Yes, it is true. Number 2. Machine language uses mnemonic codes. Is it true or false? False. Mnemonic codes are used in assembly language. Okay, so it is false. Next, number 3. Each programming language has its own specific rules and syntax. It is true. Next, number 4. Assembly language is regarded as the first generation language. Is it right? No. Our first generation language is machine language. So, this is false. Next, number 5. Compiler converts a high level language program into machine language line by line. So, this is false because compiler converts all the programs at a time, whole of the program. So, this is false. Line by line converted is done by interpreter. So, compiler converts a high level language program into machine level language line by line, that is false. Next, number 6. High level language program has to be converted into machine language by translator programs. Yes, this is right. We need compiler or interpreter as translator programs. So, this is true. Next, number 7. Programming is the process of writing specific instructions in a computer language. Is it right? Yes, this is true. Programming is the process of writing specific instructions in a computer language. This is true. So, the next, that is number C, application based questions. Okay. So, what is our first question? Question number 1. Kapil's aunt was a computer programmer during the third generation of computer language. Which kind of language was she using then? So, in third generation, what is the language we have? That is high level language. And what are the example of high level language? Those are C, C++ and Java. Kapil's aunt was using programming languages like C, C++ and Java. Number 2. Okay, I will repeat question number 1 once again. Kapil's aunt was using programming languages like C, C++ and Java. Next question. Number 2. Sumit is trying his hand in Java programming, but he does not know which type of language it is. Help him in solving this query. What type of language is Java? Java is a high level programming language. So, what is the answer? Java is a high level programming language. Next, multiple choice questions. Number D. What is the first question? Number 1. A program written in the assembly language is called dash. Option A is assembler, option B source program, option C object program. What is the answer? Option B, source program. A program written in the assembly language is called source program. Number 2. N dash converts a high level language program into machine language line by line. What are the options? Option A assembler, option B compiler, option C interpreter. Line by line means interpreter. So, an interpreter converts a high level language program into machine language line by line. Next, number 3. The program converted into machine language by the translator is called object program. What are the options? source program, object program, assembler. And answer is object program. Next, number 4. The term software was first used by dash. Who first used this term? The software? Option A, John McCarthy. Option B, John W. Tukey. Option C, John von Neumann. So, what is the answer? Option B, John W. Tukey. The term software was first used by John W. Tukey. Okay. The last exercise we have, that is answers the following. Option E answered the following. And the first question is number 1. What do you mean by machine language? I will dictate the answer. Please write down the answers. What do you mean by machine language? Machine language is the only language that a computer understands. Machine language is the only language that a computer understands. It is also known as first generation language. It consists of only zeros and ones. 0 means off state or false, and 1 means on state or true. So, machine language is the only language that a computer understands. It is also known as first generation language. It consists of only zeros and ones. 0 means off state, 1 means on state. Okay. Next question. Number 2. How is assembly language different from machine language? Assembly language, also known as second generation language. It consists of mnemonic codes instead of zeros and ones. Assembly language programs require a translator called assembler to convert it to machine language. So, what is the answer? Assembly language, also known as second generation language, it consists of mnemonic codes instead of zeros and ones. Assembly language programs require a translator called assembler to convert it to machine language. Okay. Next question. Number 3. What are the features of high level languages? So, what are the features? The features of high level languages are: number 1, uses English words and mathematical operators. Number 2, it is machine independent. Number 3, requires a translator program like compiler or interpreter to be converted to machine level language. So, what are the features? Use English words and mathematical operators. Number 2, it is machine independent. Number 3, requires a translator program like compiler or interpreter to be converted it to machine level language. Okay. Next one. Number 4, differentiate between an interpreter and a compiler. Write interpreter in the left hand side and write compiler in the right hand side. Okay. We will give some points. So, what are the differences? Number 1, in interpreter, converts line by line, but in compiler, converts the complete file at a time. Interpreter converts line by line, compiler converts the complete file at a time. Number 2, in interpreter, in case of errors, the program halts. But in compiler, in case of error, it is not converted. In case of errors, interpreter, in the interpreter, in case of errors, the program halts. but in compiler, in case of error, it is not converted. Next one, number 3, interpreter, no object code. In compiler, object program is created. Interpreter, no object code. Compiler, object program is created. The last one, in interpreter, execution is slow. In compiler, execution is fast. So what are the differences? I will dictate it again. Number 1, interpreter, compiler. In interpreter, number 1 converts line by line, but compiler converts the complete file at a time. Number 2, in case of error, the program halts. In compiler, in case of error, it is not converted. In interpreter, no object code. In compiler, object program is created. The last one, in interpreter, execution is slow. In compiler, execution is fast. So we have done our exercise. Okay, so our first lesson is complete. You have to write all the question answers and submit your classwork in assignment section, and go to next page, that is page number 10, and there was a project work. Okay, you can see project work. What is that? The term artificial intelligence has become a buzzword in the field of computer science. Search more about AI with the help of internet, newspaper and computer magazines. Make a MS PowerPoint presentation on the topic, that development of artificial intelligence in computer. So what you have to do? You have to make a presentation, PowerPoint presentation. So you have to make a presentation on development of artificial intelligence in computer. You can use Google, you can search in internet, newspaper, computer magazines, and make a presentation with maximum of 5 slides. Okay, 3, 4 or 5 slide, and make it as your project work and submit after 7 days. Okay, next week you have to submit that in Google Classroom in assignment section. So that will be your project work, and now you have to write all the question answers as your classwork or homework. After completing your exercise, you have to submit in Google Classroom. Okay, so today's class is complete here. If you have any questions, you can ask in Google Classroom, or if you have any doubts, you can ask me. So yes, today's class is complete here. Hare Krishna students, thank you.